Hello! Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite books that are also movies. Some of these on the list include books that are great and the movie sucked. Most of them are, I've tried to pick ones where the book is great and the movie is great. Oh, here's my cat! So I'm just gonna start with number one on my list, which is Shutter Island. I read this book in one sitting. It is super duper good, and I read it before I had seen the movie, which I think was probably a good idea because the twisteroo at the end is wild and I did not see it coming, and I love when the twist is so creative that it makes sense, but there's also no way I could have guessed it. Like, I hate when the twist is kind of obvious, and a good example of that would be the movie A Simple Favor, because halfway through the movie I was like, she has a twin, doesn't she? Yep. Spoiler alert. So I don't like it when you can figure out the twist, but this book, the twist is A+, and of course the movie has Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Ruffalo, so like, what else do you need? Second book/movie on my list is The Martian. Oh my god. The book is so good. There's a lot of like science lingo in it. Oh, god damn it, Horace. The book does have a lot of sciencey lingo in it, but that didn't, for me, make it any less of a good book, if you know what I mean. Like, you don't have to be a scientist to understand to read this book. It's very good. And the movie, obviously, so many great actors in it. Of course, Matt Damon plays the lead. I always get him and Mark Wahlberg confused, so I had to think. I was like, it is Matt Damon, right? Excellent book, excellent movie, highly recommend. This next one is The Girl on the Train, and this is one of those where the book was amazing and the movie sucked. So if I were you, I would 1000% read the book. If you want to watch the movie, go ahead, but it's just such a letdown after the book is incredible. But the movie does have some great actors. We have Justin Theroux, Emily Blunt, who I love. I didn't like it. I thought it was boring, and the book was so good that it was a big letdown. Ooh, okay, this next one on my list is one of the best books I've ever read, and the movie is equally amazing, and that is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. This book is pretty old, so I'm sure a lot of people have already read it, but the twist in this one too will blow your mind. It is so good. And then of course we have Daniel Craig, Rooney Mara, a bunch of other great actors in the movie. The movie is top notch. It is so good, and I love Daniel Craig. So this is one where you should definitely read the book and watch the movie because they're equally just amazing. And then I have next on here Holes. Moving on. Well, I actually, I took AP English all through high school, and we had to do a lot of reading, and this is one of the only books we had to read in my AP. I think it was it language class? That I loved, and that is The Crucible. It's actually a play, and it's really short, so I would read it if I were you. If you don't know what it's about the Salem witch trials and how the whole thing was basically just mass hysteria. The movie is excellent. Of course, we have Winona Ryder, who is from Minnesota. She's from Winona. Fun fact, I think she's from Winona. I should maybe fact check that. Anyway, Crucible, short read, good read, and movie is really good too. Ooh, okay, if you want to just ruin your whole day, and maybe even your whole week, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. If you don't know what it's about the Holocaust, and the ending will shatter your heart into 1,000 pieces. And the movie is also very good. Yeah, so if you feel like ruining your life, go ahead and read/watch that one. Oh, okay, this next one is kind of controversial because, what's his face? Stephen King and Stanley Kubrick really disagreed on how to make this movie, which is of course The Shining. My sister and I both agree that the book is 10 times better than the movie, which is really saying something because the movie is incredible. But yeah, the ending is different. I like the ending of the book a little better. But all in all, the book is almost always better than the movie because it's just a lot more detailed. And that is the case with this book. The book is incredible, but the movie is also like a masterpiece. So even if you don't like the differences between the movie and the book, you can't argue that the movie's not great. So, The Shining. Ooh, I actually just finished reading this book and then I rented the movie from Amazon, and that is The Other Boleyn Girl. Book is amazing, but super long. It's about 650 pages, I think. And the issue with the movie is that the book takes place over a 15-year period, and the movie is about an hour and a half long. So, the story is way better as a book because it makes more sense as a book. But, you know, the movie, we have Natalie Portman, and we have Scarlett Johansson, we have a young Eddie Redmayne, we have a young Benedict Cumberbatch. So, I mean, the acting is great, but I just feel like this was better as a book. The movie's a little... I just didn't like it. It felt rushed because, I mean, it is rushed. Okay, this is another kind of controversial one because a lot of Catholic people like to argue that it's kind of like sacrilegious, I guess, and that is the Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. Whether it's historically accurate or not, I don't really care because it's entertaining as heck. I mean, there's kind of a twisteroo in this one, and I honestly like the way they did it in the movie better than in the book, because in the movie it's like, and in the book it's kind of just like they just kind of tell you and then move on. But in the movie, it's like the ending is like where you find out the twisteroo. Both are great. Whether you care about historical inaccuracies or not, Da Vinci Code is very entertaining, and I loved the movie because, I mean, Tom Hanks. Oh, this next one's kind of a gimme, but we are in quarantine right now, and if you haven't read the Harry Potter books, it's time to do it. The first 3 are pretty short. The 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th one are longer, but they're so good, and all the movies are incredible as well, which is, my stupid cat is messing with something. The last movie, so there's 8 movies, you know how they do that thing where they split the last book into 2 movies. The last 2 movies though are so good, and like I get chills just thinking about it. Like, if you haven't experienced Harry Potter, reading all the books and watching all the movies, do it now. This next one's really dark. It's called We Need to Talk About Kevin. You've probably heard of the movie because it has Tilda Swinton. It's got, what's his name, John C. Reilly, and of course Ezra Miller, who I love. But he plays Kevin in this movie, and the book is pretty dense, I'm not gonna lie. And the movie does a really great job of kind of, showing how Kevin is like gaslighting his mom, or the dad, I guess, is gaslighting the mom, and nature versus nurture, and the ending, of course, is tragic, but this is one of those very dark reads and dark movie, but I think it's worth reading. It's super good. This next book is one of my favorite books I've ever read. It's up there with Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and that is The Secret Life of the Bees. It's about, I think it takes place in the, I want to say 60s, 50s or 60s, back when civil rights was a huge issue. And it's just the sweetest book ever. And of course, the movie, we have Dakota Fanning, Queen Latifah, Jennifer Hudson, Alicia Keys. Like, incredible movie, incredible book. Both of them are a must read / see. And then we have Room. Brie Larson won Oscar for Best Actress for this movie, which is well deserved because she plays an incredible Ma in the movie. The book is heartbreaking. The movie is heartbreaking. If you don't know what this is about, I'm gonna kind of spoil it a little bit, just in case you don't know what it's about. It is about a girl who was kidnapped when I think she is 19 and kept like Elizabeth Smart style in a shed in this psycho's backyard, and he repeatedly abuses her, and as a result of this abuse, she gives birth to a son. And the book is about her love for her child and what happens. I mean, okay, it happens halfway through the book, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. They do escape, and the second half of the book is her and her now 5-year-old son dealing with living in the world and how different it was from living in that shack for 5 years. I would say I like the movie almost even better because it is top notch. Last but not least, Gone Girl. Gillian Flynn is an amazing writer, and this book will blow your mind. And this is one where the twisteroo comes halfway through the book, which I love, and it's very unexpected. And the movie, we have Rosamund Pike and we have Ben Affleck. Oh, and Tyler Perry plays a lawyer, which is, you'd think that's like Medea plays a lawyer, but he's so good. Movie will blow your mind, book will blow your mind. I would say read the book first. One of my best movie book combos ever. And then I have some honorable / dishonorable mentions. 50 Shades of Grey. I actually am not ashamed to say that I own all 3 because they are good books to read when you're bored. The books are terrible and the movies are terrible, but they are fun to read, so. Oh, Me Before You. Cute book and cute movie. That's kind of all I have to say. The Fault in Our Stars. The book was okay and the movie was okay. I'm still waiting for them to make a movie on Looking for Alaska because that's one of the best books I've also ever read. And John Green's a great author, but I just thought this movie was a little, so. This one's kind of a dummy or a gimme, but Hunger Games, if you haven't read or seen the Hunger Games, doesn't matter how old you are. I mean, I know they're like young adult books, but they're really good. They're so good, and the movies are really good. And so yeah, if you haven't done that, I highly recommend Hunger Games. Last but not least on my honorable mentions, Water for Elephants. Loved this book. I haven't seen the movie in a long time. I have seen the movie, but it's been forever. Basically, it's Robert Pattinson and Reese Witherspoon just being cute together. So there you go. That's all you need to know about that movie. So that is my list of the best books that have also been turned into movies. I'll probably make another video soon of just my favorite books in general, but this is just my list of the ones that have been made into movies, and I hope you liked it. Happy quarantine and get reading.